and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. We're going to be going over 8 creative ideas to boost your next email marketing campaign. Email marketing is really the cornerstone of digital marketing. I mean, it's one of the first kinds of online marketing, and despite its age, it seems to grow stronger every single year, get more effective every single year, with the potential to improve your revenue and customer retention. It's a skill that every digital marketer needs to be great at. So, one thing you notice is that email is an age-old friend. It's email marketing's been around since the invention of the public email address. There have been marketers who figured out a way to tap into this idea to send things directly to their audience, their customer base. Throughout the years, it's become less of an irritation with the combination of improvements in anti-spam measures, as well as the ability of digital marketers, email marketers to learn to communicate better with people. It's also an asset. According to Castore, it offers as much of a 12% increase in customer lifetime value over other forms of marketing. So that means that customers obtained are going to spend more money and they're going to stay with you longer. But you got to get creative with your email marketing to make it stand out. So if you think about it, most digital marketers have been actively using email marketing for so long that their creative juices kind of get tapped. It's easy to imagine why. I mean, after all, you got many companies are sending out multiple emails a day, right, to different customer segments, to different groups, and so it makes it really, really easy for that creativity to get tapped. Of course, we over here at Visceral Concepts, we have your back, right? So we put together this list of 8 tips that you can apply towards your next email marketing campaign to kind of boost that creativity. First thing I want to talk about is making it personal. You're going to hear from every marketing company, every bit of marketing advice you're going to hear about email marketing. Use the recipient's name in the email. Now, it's really, really easy to do with certain placeholders in email automation, but in all honesty, that's not what I'm talking about right now. When I talk about making it personal, we're talking about sending every email, even the auto-response ones, as if you're sending them to a letter to a friend, email to a friend. Use casual language, don't be overly professional, right? And kind of write in the same way that you would hold a conversation. So, the idea is that your email campaign is going to allow you to really talk with your customer and build a sense of loyalty and relationship that you couldn't get if it was too dry. Second thing I'm going to say is forgive the pun, GIF your email marketing a pop. Animated images, GIFs, are great additions to an email marketing campaign. If you use them properly, it's gonna catch that 8-second attention span that the average person has. It's gonna catch hold of that and get them to read the rest of the email. After all, the human eye is naturally inclined to pay attention to movement. So it's a great benefit if you put them in your email to really start catching that attention. But as an added bonus, you can even use them to draw attention to specific bits of the email. Things that you want them to really pay attention to. Don't overdo it though, because GIFs take longer than the average image to download, especially when you're talking about on a mobile device. Third thing I want to mention is test your style. Right? What I mean by test your style. Any digital marketer who's been in the business any amount of time is familiar with A/B testing. It's where you test one message versus another, or one way of saying it versus another, one call to action versus another. You've got to be using A/B testing in every one of your email marketing campaigns to make sure you're gathering data on what works and what doesn't. But what we probably miss a lot of times is the style that we put together the email marketing campaign. I mean, if you think about it, we're going to speak differently to different segments, to different customer bases, to people who want different products. So that means doing things like testing your email subject lines, testing the way you write the copy, testing the style of the images, right? Think about it. When you think about the images, does your customer base respond better to a nice, clean, crisp, bright image? Or are they interested in something a little more gritty, a little more grungy, a little darker, right? If you're selling products through your email, does a picture of the product by itself sell better, or does a picture of the product in use sell better? A/B test that stuff, find out what works. Add a little video content to your email. Now, obviously, most emails, with the exception of a handful of things on native phone apps, most emails don't accept raw video in the email. But linking back to it is possible. But here's the crazy part. According to Adele Studios, video can increase your open rates by as much as 20%. And in some cases, increase your click-through rates, right? The number of people that actually go from your email to wherever you're sending them your call to action, by up to 300%. So I know that number sounds kind of nuts, but let's think about it for a minute. Even if Adele Studios is only half right, can you really afford to miss that kind of additional click-through rate? Try it out. Add video to your emails and see what kind of an open rate it changes for you. What kind of click-through rate it changes for you. Next is transform your transactional emails. Right. Transactional emails. You may not be familiar with the term, but transactional emails are the automatic emails that happen when a customer takes an action. So, like, think about when you purchase something on Amazon and you get that email back that says your purchase has been confirmed, your product's been shipped. Those are transactional emails. Most systems that require transactional emails, anything from adding a subscriber to an email list to purchasing a product, they have kind of a cut canned template response. These can get pretty boring, and they don't really set the tone for your company. Modify these transactional emails wherever you can. Personalize them. Make them your company's emails. Make them coming from your company, because especially the ones set at the very beginning of a subscription or purchase, it's going to set the tone for what it's like to work with your company, and so that's going to improve that loyalty and improve that branding a heck of a lot more. Next one is call back those people who abandoned their cart. Right. So if you're running a retail site, and this applies really to everybody, but I'm going to talk about about retail sites. But for those of you who don't run retail, just think of it in terms of people who visited your site and maybe didn't apply for a consultation or didn't make a phone call. They're going to come to that site, and you need to be able to add them to an email list. But when somebody abandons their shopping cart, you got to think about it for a minute. These people were right there on the cusp of buying, and something called them away from it. Maybe it was their budget or a distraction in the room. It's a huge opportunity if you can get them to remember to come back to that cart and finish that purchase. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that within hours, weeks, and months, and of that cart abandonment, that you keep sending them an email that reminds them, hey, we still have your cart here. We didn't lose track of what you were trying to buy. Come back and get it. The idea there is that the worst thing that can happen if you keep pestering them about the purchase they almost made is that they won't come back. So think about it. They're already gone. You've already lost them. If the worst thing that can happen is that they don't come back, but you have the chance of bringing them back, it's worth the extra effort to make sure there's something in place to remind them that they almost made a purchase with you and that they still might want to. Reveal, rave reviews. Yes, I have a thing for alliteration today. One of the best forms of marketing that you can possibly do is word of mouth marketing, right? A friend tells a friend how great your company is. Reviews and testimonials that you receive on social media or directly through your website are kind of the same thing. It's an idea that somebody has purchased your product, somebody has used your service, they really, really love it, and they want to share that information with the world. Feature those in emails in order to really build trust and build loyalty towards the product. And they're especially good, if you can introduce and interject these testimonials into, your subscription transactions. If you can interject them into emails meant for people who are ready to purchase, right? Or who might be on the cusp of an upsell. This is a good time to let them know that other people really, really enjoy your product or service. Group your contacts. If you've been in email marketing for any period of time, email segmentation is a big deal, right? Being able to divide your email list up into groups based on similar interests. So now you should be collecting as much data as you can on people who are on your email list, right? Everything that the web allows you to grab data from, you should be gathering that in and using that information to help segment your groups. You're going to find out that certain groups have common threads of why they came to your product. You can sort of clump them together based on those common threads, and you can shift your emails that you send to those different segments so that we go back to personalizing it. It speaks their language. It speaks to them the way they're going to want to hear. The most important thing, though, with email marketing is that it hinges on writing great emails, right? So if you take these tips that we gave you, these 8 tips, it's already 8. It's already through 8 tips. You take those 8 tips and you put them on top of an already well-written email, the ability to write an email well, interesting, captivating, engaging, something that people actually want to open up and read. You're going to grow your success at a phenomenal level. Guys, that's our tips for the day. I really want you to take these tips, put them to work on your site, in your email transactions, in your email marketing, and watch your success level from email grow tremendously. Thanks for joining us this month, and we'll see you next month. Hey guys, while I've still got you here, we mentioned that these tips hinge on really, really great emails to begin with. I've included, for those of you watching this on YouTube, a link down below to our site. Those of you watching this on our site, there's a form down at the bottom of the page. Fill it out. First name, last name, email address. We're going to send you our 7-step guide to email marketing. This is everything you need to know to set up your email marketing properly and write good emails that people are actually going to want to open and read. It's definitely worth your download. It's a real quick read. Like I said, it's just 7 steps. And it's going to change the way you write emails. It's going to change your email marketing overall. And in conjunction with the tips we just gave you, really, really going to show you absolute success. Guys, again, download this, put it to use. I really encourage you and watch your success grow. We'll see you next month.